Hello everyone, it's me again, Kitty Clinical, and today we are going to go back in time to our same old average MCAT score article, and we haven't even gone through the first paragraph yet, and we're still fixating on this 511 business, that is so dear to everyone's heart. Everyone who's working their butt off to do well in the MCATs, to become a doctor, to achieve your dreams, your passion of saving people's lives. And it all falls down to this MCAT score, a test which the random stranger on the streets, your average Joe, has no idea what 500 means, what 509 means, what a 528 means. We have no idea what that is. And it kind of goes back to the whole notion that medicine is its own community, and people who are not in the medical field or who are not in the medical education field don't understand what we doctors or medical students go through. And it's all arcane to the person who's not in the medical field to know what a 511 means, to know what that means for you. Like, what does this number mean, really? You know, like you work your butt off, you work hours and hours, sweat and tears pouring just to get a number, and yet you are a singularity in a pool of multiple other singularities, people who don't matter. Because when it comes down to it, really, you know, it's your MCAT score. At least that's how it was for me when I was applying to medical school. It came down to your score and nothing else. I mean, yes, there's like, okay, extracurriculars, research. You were, you know, the best person in your group or your, you know, national society. Whatever committee, right? So you're the director of this committee, and you put that on your CV. Well, none of that matters at the end of the day, and I'll tell you why. It's because the only thing that really matters is getting a good MCAT score. I mean, I'm only telling you this from sheer experience, and maybe my experience is not going to mean as much to other people, because when I took the MCATs, it was out of 45. Nowadays, people who are struggling with 500 scores, you know, this new grading system. Well, I shouldn't even say new because it's quite old now. It is quite old, but they can't relate, or maybe I can't. Maybe I can't relate to you. Maybe you can't relate to me. But the MCAT score, it's just a number. But it's a number that can mean the difference between how much money you're going to make in 10 years, really, right? How many patients' lives being saved. It means, if you think about it, this MCAT score, this 511 business, means life and death. It does. It means life and death, because if the person who scores a 511, or, you know, what have you, let's say they score a 509 and then they're 2 points below 511. Now all of a sudden they're not considered competitive. They're not considered competitive because of those 2 points on the MCAT score. Let's say they get in, I don't know, like, does it really matter? Because, you know, the fact of the matter is, like, how you do on an exam doesn't necessarily translate to how you are as a physician. And I mean this from years of experience. It all comes down to how much do you care about your patients, how hard are you at working, and that is actually one metric that the MCAT can test you on, is how hard of a worker are you, how much did you study for this exam. If you studied for the exam, you did well, great. That's going to reflect very well on you in the future. It's the kind of work ethic that pays off in years. You know, it's like an investment. It really is. So I do think that the MCAT score is just a number, but it also is very, very important for admissions. They do look at this number a lot. So don't sit on the MCAT. I know you've got your research and your extracurriculars, your marching band, your chess, or whatever it is that you like to do on weekends. But at the end of the day, do well in the MCATs, and if there is one thing that they will accept you for, if there's a reason for them to accept you into medical school, they can point to that number and say, hey, this guy got a 511. Let's take him.